I've heard you say The Boss Baby is a very personal film for you.
It is. Yeah.
How autobiographical is it? I mean, can you tell me maybe anecdotes about your rivalry with your brother?
Sure, yeah.
If it's
I was the
something-
boss baby in my family, and I had an older sister and an older brother. My brother and I were very close in age, 2 years apart. And you know, as children, I think sometimes we're hardwired to be competitive. And to me, like it's really in the point of view of my brother experiencing me. And you know, fortunately, we grew up and became adults, and we were best friends, but we went through war together. And I just remember this one time where we had fought in the morning about something, you know, whether it was a toy or anything, and this was in junior high and in young teen years. And then I was being bullied by this kid at school who had a locker next to mine, and he slammed my locker, and I thought this guy was going to beat me up, and my brother was right there to put his arm in between him and send this guy kind of sheepishly away. And that's when my brother was my hero. And it's amazing, that is family sometimes, when you fight in the morning and then he's your hero in the afternoon. And it was really, it's that we wanted to capture in this movie. And in a way, this is my love letter to my brother personally. But it's not just me. I think everyone who worked on this film found a connection and put their stories into it as well.
Great anecdote. The Boss Baby book is very short. We've read it. It's a brilliant book. The book, the original. So the rest of the story is totally new. I mean, most of it is new. And where did the whole inspiration come from?
Well, the inspiration came from the book, and just seeing a baby in a suit and that metaphor for any parent, you know. And then I got together with Michael McCullers, who wrote the Austin Powers movies, and we just started brainstorming. What could we do with this story, especially if we told it from the point of view of a 7-year-old kid with imagination? And it just felt like all fresh material. And so ideas that kept coming, and like, well, what if, where do babies come from? If they could come from this place called Babycore. And babies are worried about the love being taken away from them from puppies. And there's this place called Puppy Co. And so it was just a wellspring of ideas. The hard part was boiling it down to an 85-minute movie, but I think we did okay on that part.
It's a brilliant film, actually. We loved it. And this is my son's question. I mean, he helped me. He's a 10-year-old.
Oh, good.
He said this is one of the best films he's ever seen after Madagascar.
But is this the second film he's seen in his life?
No.
Okay, good.
He's seen all the Madagascar's franchise many times over as well. He said, and then this is quite a funny question in a way, he said, who inspired the Boss Baby's gesture of throwing money to people to make them do things? Trump or Trump-esque gestures?
No. You know, actually, we finished the movie before the elections, so there was that. But you know, the joy of making an animated movie is we draw the whole movie and put the voices to it before we actually make the movie. And so we can play and try different things, and some things we have to cut out, and some things we can make better. And Boss Baby throwing the money came from the idea of a story artist, you know, because you're always looking for business. And he thought it'd be funny if at one point he threw money at the situation. And it just became a running gag. And then other storyboard artists go, hey, you could throw money here too, and throw money here. And that it's fun to come up with a small idea and then pepper it through the movie. And so, you know, what's the joy of, for me as a director, working with these artists, they come up with ideas well and contribute. And, you know, if you look at the credits to an animated movie, there's 400, 500 artists, and they all have ideas and great ideas.
No, we thought because of Alec Baldwin, you know, and Trump.
Oh, I know, yeah. I'd love to say it was, yeah.
Yeah, right. The Boss Baby appeals to us parents as much as to our kids. And it has kind of the look and feel, I mean, that's the perception of old-fashioned animations.
That was the goal.
Oh, that was the goal, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought, how did you manage to manage that while keeping it so current as well? Like,
well, our tools are getting better in animation, but as our tools progress, you know, we were really making things look so realistic that we kind of lost the art of animation of, say, the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And that's when I grew up. And I grew up watching Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, and you were transported to this magical world. And so shortly after this movie, Megamind, was very realistic. I'm going like, I miss what we used to be able to do so well. And now the computer can actually do what we used to do, you know? And it really, the computer's just a tool. And it's a tool in the hands of an artist. And so since we're at a stage where we can do anything we want, let's do what we loved about animation. And so it was really, in a way, a love letter to the golden age of animation. And for parents to be nostalgic of that and to remember what it was like when they used to go to an animated movie as well.
You totally achieved that goal, because it feels like that.
Oh, good.
And the old Friends gang is reunited, like Lisa and Alec.
They did. Yeah, Alec was on Friends.
Belong to that generation.
Yeah.
It is reunited here. So was this a move to make it more sort of appealing to the parents' generation? And are there any anecdotes about them recording their voice? Because they've worked together before, in Friends before.
Yeah. Well, Alec and because you know the story, Alec and Lisa never had scenes together. But when we cast these movies, we're looking for unique voices. And for the parents, we needed him to be really charming and funny, and Lisa just has that voice. Jimmy Kimmel is not known for his acting, but he is a father, and he has a really unique voice. And I think it was really fun to get Jimmy and Lisa, because they were parents, and you've seen the movie. There's a scene where they're grounding Tim, and to watch them play off each other, because you get a timing, and Lisa's brilliant at comedic timing, and so is Jimmy. And sometimes it's a rare moment when you can get the actors together playing off each other. But that was a great scene to watch, and you try to do it as much as possible, but in most cases you record them separately. Sure. And the magic of animation really is, even though they're doing their lines like sometimes 6 months apart, that it feels like they're in the same room talking to each other.
And the voices are so recognizable for us, for our generation, like Lisa. It's like she's, Phoebe. Who doesn't know her voice? I mean,
Tobey Maguire,
exactly.
Steve Buscemi.
So it feels so familiar, for us, like parents.
Yeah, she's got a really comforting voice.
Yeah, you get that connection. You say, I know this voice. It's one of my, voices that I've grown up with. And the ending of The Boss Baby hints to a baby girl becoming the star of Boss Baby 2. And when is the next installment, released? I mean, how far is it down the line?
I think when you deliver your first child, it's hard to think about having a second one right away, And at the end of the movie, there is a wink to, really the idea that, was this in the kid's head or was it real? And it was never intended to create a sequel idea. But it so happens that Marla Frazee, who wrote the original book, The Boss Baby, wrote another book called The Bossier Baby, about a baby girl. And so congratulations to her book. But we'll see how the movie does. And if people like it, maybe there's an opportunity. We love the characters. We love the cast. So we'll see.
We cannot wait to see that. Please.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And talking about sequels, is a new Madagascar film in the pipeline, maybe?
Well, there's you're always trying to think, when you do a sequel, you want to be able to tell a great story, not just make a sequel.
Of course.
And so there is one in the works, and there's always one, in the works, but we'll see, And the beauty of those movies is it's such a great cast with the actors, and the characters are kind of like your own children, and you want to see more of them at some point. So we'll see.
The Madagascar films, they got better and better as we,
I
normally
agree.
The sequels, yeah.
I agree.
I mean, the sequels are usually like, oh yeah, we've seen that before. But the Madagascar series, that's why I think they get better and better as you go, to the next film.
Yeah, for me,
which is quite unusual.
Even in making those films, I feel like you get to understand the characters and you get to play with them more. And I think for the third one was my favorite of all the ones we had done, and it's like, well, now where could they go? What happens to their friendship? So we're working on it.
Brilliant. I can't wait to see all your next films, actually. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very nice.